Hey guys, what's up? Tage Proto here, doing a Ret Pally video. Also, partially going over my UI since on my Warlock video I got an ass load of questions about it. So I figured I'll just do a quick rundown of that. Um, yeah, up here in the corner, got sexy map. Pretty much customize it any size you want, any weird effects you want for the map. My action bars are part of Bartender. My unit frames are Pitbull, and I have it customized for my buffs to be up here. Stance bars down here, Concentron keybinds, all that good stuff down here. Recount, obviously. I got chatter up here. Chat box can change the font, size, all that crap. For Ret Paladin only, I have CLC Red up here. Yes, this is the add-on that tells you when to push which shiny button, but it's pretty amazing for raids, especially being a raid leader, trying to pay attention to who's standing and what and whatnot. That's that. My nameplate add-ons are tidy plates. When I tank, I have it set as threat plates, which is really nice. But for DPS, I have it set to, I think it's Quattro or something like that. But it's pretty awesome. Yeah, see, it'll show my censure ticks and how much time, or stacks and how much time is left on it. Down here, I have my cooldown bar. So if I do like consecration, it'll say how much time is left, and it'll flash when it gets to 0 here, so I know it's off cooldown. Over here is my combat text. It's MIKs scrolling. You can set it however you want, wherever you want it to scroll at. What else? Oh, my tooltip add-on. Look over here. I can tell what guild they're in. It tells me what talents they're in. All kinds of stuff. If they have stuff that's not enchanted, etc., that is Tip Tech, I believe it's called. And it also shows me their buffs and stuff above their name. It's good for a boss, shows like all the debuffs and stuff like that. Obviously I have like Atlas loot, sell junk, what else? I think that's pretty much it. I have a Big Brother, but it doesn't really like work that well as to tell me who's not flashed and who doesn't have food for raids and stuff. So that's pretty much all the add-ons, like I was saying in my Warlock comments. This cooldown bar and then the dots, which come up here, tells you how much time is left, what's going to tick. That's all part of Forte Exorcist. Pretty fantastic add-on. Alright, now it's time to focus on Ret Pally. So, if you read Elitist Jerks, pay attention to anything, you know that strength is so much better than everything else, that I'm actually not quite hit capped. I'm damn near there. My expertise is way over cap because I just got what is it? Heart of Rage, which has a massive amount of expertise on it. So with the Seal of Truth glyph, I'm up to 32. Mastery, 36% additional damage is holy on Templar's Verdict, Crusader Strike, and Divine Storm. I think I have 4 blue pieces left, which is a helm, shoulders, a ring, and my boots. Or, I'm sorry, not my boots, my legs. Yeah, so essentially, rule of thumb, if you're hit capped, expertise capped, everything should be reforged to either mastery or crit. They're pretty even, but I think mastery still pulls ahead. Unfortunately, not having that much crit can give us kind of like a dry spot during our DPS, especially if you're not getting a lot of procs. But yeah, for the helm, actually, I think every single one of my gems is strength, because it's just so far superior to everything else. I have Accurus, Wormbreaker, enchanted with Landslide, which is best in slot enchant. Vicious Gladiators, PvP gloves. Those are actually best in slot with non-heroic tier 11 4-piece. So as soon as I get the 4-piece, then this will be excellent. So I just figured I'd grab those while I could. I do a lot of arenas. Yeah, so that's if you read it, it says increases the damage dealt by your Crusader Strike ability by 5%. That's pretty much the main reason. You can get your 4-piece from your head, chest, shoulders, and legs, and then get these gloves. Yeah, I don't have the best enchant on everything. Actually, I think I have the second to best enchant on everything except Accurus. So yeah, I am an inscriptionist, so I have the Uber shoulder enchant. Yeah, you can see everything I have is pretty much reforged to mastery, and some crit. I try to leave hit rating alone, but I mean, yeah, License to Slay. These are supposedly the two best in slot trinkets: License to Slay and Heart of Rage. Look at that ridiculous hit rating though, 321. So yeah, that's pretty much that for the gear, enchants and stuff. Gems, like I said, strength is just so superior to everything else that I haven't found a reason to not gem for straight strength. So, alright, we're going to go into the rotation here. Not a DPS test. Don't bite my head off. I know dummies are not good for DPS tests. This is purely for rotation purposes. I do have the flask buff and food buff on myself, so typically in a raid situation, no moving, something like Argoloth, I pull between 19 and 23k. That's with good use of cooldowns, like 2 rotations of them, basically. I'm pretty sure most Ret Paladins know that if you use your like Guardian of Ancient Kings, Ancient Avenging Wrath, and then Zealotry, your threat is just gonna skyrocket. So you have to be able to trust your tank and know your tank can hold the aggro, especially if you're trying to get 2 rotations of cooldowns and you blow all 3 right off the bat, pretty much. The rotation is extremely simple, especially if you have CLC Ret. I recommend it for any Ret Paladin. Helps out with your raid awareness, you know, stuff like that. Always keep Inquisition up, 3 holy power. Templar's Verdict is your primary source of damage. Comes above Exorcism, Art of War procs. Yeah, it's ridiculous damage. Down here, you might be able to see it. You'll see like my Landslide proc, Heart of Rage proc, and then my License to Slay will pretty much stay stacked at max the entire time. So here we go. Gonna start with the Crusader Strike. Then I'm gonna blow my cooldowns. I'll start with Guardian of Ancient Kings, and as you know, it stacks an attack buff for your pally. You don't want to blow Avenging Wrath until Guardian of Ancient Kings has 20 seconds left, since Avenging Wrath lasts for 20 seconds. And yes, during Avenging Wrath, as soon as you get 3 holy power, you want to spend it on Zealotry, and your DPS will burst like fucking crazy. Again, you have to watch your threat, especially in raid situations, if you're using that rotation on bosses. If not, then you can just save your cooldowns for hero or a burn phase or something like that. But generally, I trust my tanks, so I blow it right off the bat, and then I have another whole set, at least of Avenging Wrath and Zealotry, since their cooldown's not very long, before the boss is dead or for the Heroism or Bloodlust phase. Alright, so just going to kind of go over the rotation here. You guys can see my add-ons at work, and here we go. Guardian of Ancient Kings has about 2 seconds left. There's Avenging Wrath, Zealotry, Templar's Verdict, Hammer, Crusader Strike, Templar's Verdict, Templar's Verdict, Templar's Verdict. I have not been using Consecration as like a filler, but I'm going to start doing it after messing around with some simulation crafts and stuff like that. I guess it is worth it to throw in there if you have the extra GCD, which I normally don't, but I guess it's good to try and fit in there. So yeah, this is pretty much the rotation. I think I spiked up to near 20 there without raid buffs. So yeah, you'll probably drop to like 15 or 14 before your Avenging Wrath and Zealotry come back off cooldown. This is, again, like I said, without raid buffs and stuff like that. So, rotation's pretty simple. Can get hairy if you start getting like a crap load of procs, but you just have to know that Templar's Verdict is your bread and butter, pretty much. And Zealotry. I'm sorry, not Zealotry, Inquisition.
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
Yeah, this is pretty much one of those dry spells I was talking about where you're not getting a lot of procs or anything like that. But sometimes, you know, it goes crazy, especially with like melee haste buffs from raid and stuff like that.
That spell isn't ready yet.
So I'll get low cooldowns once more here.
That yet.
Zealotry is just so nasty. You're just gonna get so many Templar's Verdict just back to back to back.
That's still recharging.
I mean, it's so far ahead of priority of everything else. It's, yeah. Oh my god. It's gonna be like 4, yeah.
I can't cast that yet.
And then, of course, during execute phase, you have your hammer whenever it's off cooldown. I've had that thing crit for like 82k before, I believe. Alright, so we'll stop there. Templar's Verdict, number 1 damage, only crit 3 times. Oops. Crit 3 times. Still number 1 in damage. Hand of Light is the mastery, so now you see how much damage is contributed by your mastery. Crusader Strike, then your melee, Seal of Truth, your Censure Dot, which comes from Seal of Truth, Exorcism, and Hammer of Wrath. So, yeah, that's essentially it for Ret Pallies. Probably the most fun class I've played in a long time. DPS is pretty ridiculous right now. You know, what do you guys think? Leave comments. If you have questions, go ahead and ask. Even if they're UI questions, I'll answer them. Don't matter. Next video, again, is going to be for my lock again. It's been a while since I made that last one. So, alright. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Post questions, comments. Tage Proto. Peace.